I don't eat books, you know. I collect them. Some I
You
read.
don't eat books? What kind of teacher are you?
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
I don't know you. But I want to.
I'm Marilyn Harris.
And I'm Percy Smith. This is our second Victoriously Crazy iCarly crossover episode.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
David St.
David
James.
St. James is in the house.
Mr. Howard, do you?
Oh, he's ready.
Okay, I'm ready for you. Now, you appeared in 7 episodes of iCarly as the very mean teacher, temporary principal, Mr. Howard. Now we get to see how nice you are in real life, but I may have to edit that line.
Man.
No, just kidding.
No,
Hi, David.
Hi, David.
Hi, guys.
Did we technically meet at all on the iParty with Victoria's episode? I don't think we did.
No. I remember Eric Lang was there at one point.
Psychoids.
Yeah. He's everywhere.
He and I go back a long ways
Oh.
to live theater.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
That's nice.
Yes. So did you get to meet any other Victorious cast besides him?
It was a crazy day. I bet I did. I bet that I did. There was a lot of people there.
Yeah, so Mr. Howard wasn't your first role on Nickelodeon. You also appeared on the Amanda Show. Was it a similar role as a principal?
Yeah, a little goofier. And the producer, actually, I did a third Nickelodeon show. I kept getting hired, but they didn't realize it was the same guy that they were hiring. So I kind of like that because I'm a character actor, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I play a lot of heavies on TV, but every once in a while I get a great goofy role, and I love it.
So tell us about your audition for iCarly. How did that go down?
Well, I had auditioned for the show several times for different mean characters. I don't remember the audition so much as the first taping we did. You know, the scripts were really good. Always, everybody was really up doing their A game, and I was in a good mood that day, and just decided to get a little crazier than I usually am, and man, it worked. Everything just clicked, and I could see the eyes of the cast, you know, get a little bit bigger, and think, okay, let's go. I was amazed at how funny the cast was, and especially I was really impressed with Jerry Trainer.
Oh, I love
him.
Jerry Trainer.
You know, I kept thinking, like, he's the new Dick Van Dyke, man.
He reminds me of Jerry O'Connell a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a similarity there. That's true. Yeah, I worked with the other Jerry on a film called Tomcats. It's a small business, you know. You run into people. Everybody is so grateful to be working.
Amen.
It's a really happy environment. And if by some chance somebody who's not happy to be there, they don't last. But when you come in as a guest artist, you really have to hit the ground running because they're all, you know, locked in together, having done, you know, however many shows together, and it's a well-oiled machine, and you gotta go when you get in. And I'm basically, or maybe I used to be, a shy person, and I think a lot of actors are shy. I had to fight against that and think of it from their point of view. You know, they want you to be part of the family right away, and they tell you what to say. So
there you go. Okay, let's hear some memories you have from your first iCarly episode, I Got Detention.
Well, I was just supposed to be the teacher from hell. I came in and somebody had written on the blackboard, Mr. Howard eats.
Eats pants.
Pants.
Right. But right. And I was so upset about that that was really the moment when that character was born.
Wow.
When I got upset about that, and then the principal comes in, and I have to kowtow to him because he's my boss, and so I had to make this enormous U-turn, going from being this diabolical dictator to being a flunky.
Real world.
Yeah.
For any working person.
Yeah.
Actually.
And I did it, and so the response to that episode was very high, and Dan Schneider, the producer, he took me aside and said, "Do you realize, that you got a great reaction from that first episode?"
Wow.
And then they called me back for another one.
Isn't that a great thing to hear?
It is.
Oh man.
It is.
Yeah. That's what happened to me. I was booked for one episode.
One episode.
That's acting, baby.
Right. It gives
Isn't
you
that right, David?
gives you
That's
a
acting.
tingling feeling.
Yes.
All right. So Tim Russ, who played the principal, Franklin, was kind of your enemy. Did it seem like you always acted more like a principal than him?
It did, and some of the kids I run into in the supermarket remember me as the principal.
That's great.
Yeah, he nailed it then. If
Okay.
that's the case, kids run when they see me.
I love that. Yeah.
I just had some great scenes with him. We worked well together. He did Spock on Star Trek, didn't he?
Oh.
Really, that's a huge role.
I was kind of in awe of him for having done that role.
I understand that because I was in awe of Leon Thomas for having done a role in August Rush.
I do have kids come up to me even still
Wow.
years later.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned the supermarket. I was in the supermarket and a little kid was watching me, and he said, "Wow, Mr. Howard eats Raisin Bran."
That's why I love
He doesn't just eat pans.
Yeah,
because kids tell what they feel, man.
they
don't.
do.
They're like,
They're
That's
so
amazing.
innocent.
you want to know the truth? Ask a kid.
Oh, yeah. Well, you and Miss Briggs, played by Mindy Sterling, had a funny relationship. What was it like working with her?
Well, I knew her from Austin Powers.
Oh.
Mindy and I just had a moment together, but I was proud to be working with her, and I hope she remembers me.
I'm sure
I'm
she
sure
will.
she does.
Yes.
You're unforgettable, man. Were there any scenes or lines in the scripts you remember being cut that were really funny?
No, the writers were so good.
So good.
They were.
You figure on a kids show, you might be after a while inclined to coast. These guys did not coast. They were always playing A game. Everybody, and it was really impressive. And whenever anybody talked to me about iCarly, I immediately mentioned how good every element of the show was. The writing, the cast, the crew. The crew was at their A game. Everybody happy to be there except for Jeanette. But I didn't know that at the time.
When I met her at one of the parties, she was really cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool.
Very
girl.
friendly. All of the kids were.
I met up with her sometime after I was no longer on the show, and I reintroduced myself. And she said, "You don't have to reintroduce yourself to me. I know who you are."
That's how she is. Yeah.
I love that.
And that's a lovely thing to say. Here we go. An all-time classic joke on iParty with Victorious was about colon P. Do you remember that?
And before you answer, let's have Bennett explain that because I have no idea what
Okay.
colon P is. And
Well, to me, it's Colin Powell.
that's what I thought. What do you think, Bennett?
Well, that's news to me. I just remember that Carly was sitting in the classroom texting her boyfriend, and something along the lines of she was typing when you use number or thing, they're like they call them emojis now, but she was sending a silly face and they're using colon P, and Mr. Howard goes, "I know all about colon P," and then everybody just starts laughing, and then he's like, "Whoa, what's so funny about colon P?" and everybody just starts howling with laughter. But it was just I don't know, it was just the performance that made the episode, and you had that one scene, and it was really funny.
Well, I need to watch those again.
Yeah.
I was in the Navy, so Colin Powell was at one point the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I will remember him forever, but I have no recollection of that. I'm not one of those actors who can recite the lines to you.
David, you did say that day filming iParty with Victorious was quite crazy. Was it just having two cast together, or what do you recall about that day in particular?
Being at the table read, there were like 30 people at the table.
Wow.
Yes, everyone.
And I thought that was overwhelming. And then I remember running into Eric, who I hadn't seen, Eric Lang, since our theater days together.
Oh, when you see a connection like that, it calms you down.
It does. It does.
Well, Gibby, played by Noah Monk, he got really popular, as the show kept going.
And what a change in him physically, right? He grew like 1.5 feet during that. He was very funny. I had a couple of scenes with him. He had this great voice. I really liked his voice. And he got very popular. You're right.
They made a pilot with him that never aired. Well, they leaked it a couple weeks ago. It was very good, I thought.
Now, was that back then?
2012. In fact, Tim was in it. Tim was in the opening scene. There was a very funny scene where Gibby had a pet weasel that ended up down Principal Franklin's pants.
Oh!
And somehow it didn't end up on TV.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Okay.
I wonder why.
To see it wiggling in somebody's pants. It's like, kid show.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah, he answered all that. It was more to that question, but
I know we're not gonna go there.
It's been answered.
Pants wiggling. No.
Stop it.
Okay. David, you have an incredible resume outside of iCarly, The West Wing, American Crime Story, American Horror Stories. Any memories you want to share from those shows?
Yes. Well, first of all, let me say that when people ask me what my favorite work is, I mention West Wing and iCarly. I swear it's at the top of my list for happy memories, and a chance to shine. Yeah.
Yes.
The West Wing episode was interesting because I got called in for a small part. While I was there, the West Wing director said, "He looks mean. I have a different role for him." So they gave me a mean role. And I had been taking classes at the time. So I was kind of juiced up, I was oiled up. So my audition worked good and was different from everybody else's audition, probably because of the classes I was taking.
Nice.
I dropped all the acting out of it, and I just kind of said the lines with intention. My intention in the scene was real clear. So when we shot it, all the other actors were just acting their hearts out.
Yeah.
And these were guest actors, not the regular cast.
Right.
They were playing all these senators and representatives. So I came in kind of below the radar with a very clear intention and very little acting, and it stood out like crazy. And it was this first episode was about John Spencer, who was playing an alcoholic aide to the president. And I exposed his alcoholism on this episode. uh, in an attempt to, I was playing a Republican, in an attempt to damage the Democratic Party. And then I got a call from the casting director who said, you're listed as a co-star on that, but please, I want you to put guest star.
Wow.
Ooh.
I got paid as a co-star, but I got the guest star credit.
Yeah.
That was in, I think, 2004. So it's almost 20 years later.
Wow.
Somebody came up to me 2 days ago and said, I'll never forget that.
Wow.
What you did on that show. And I remember doing that to actors, that I saw 20 years ago do something unforgettable. So that's kind of nice.
It is nice.
That is awesome.
Knowing you had an effect on someone like that.
Yeah. And those things stick with you, You see somebody do something special, see something different. You remember it forever, especially if that's your career.
Yes. That's the beauty of acting, is it lasts.
Somebody told me early in my career, I didn't start until I was 42. I tried to start, but I couldn't get started until I was 42. And they said, as an actor, you have to hear no 99 times before you hear a yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And I've gone past 99.
We have to.
Yeah. And that one
Absolutely.
yes changes it all.
Well, you know what I do when I didn't get something that I know I was really good? I say, they cast somebody with hair.
I love it.
That's
Somebody
funny.
has told me when you're auditioning, always find some way to physicalize, use your body without being too theatrical. And that's worked for me time and again, to the point where if I said something in exasperation and I flapped my arms, when I get on the set, they come up and say, don't forget to flap your arms.
Okay. Wow. Thanks for that nugget.
Yeah,
man.
we're going to apply that.
I'm certainly going to apply that for sure.
Yeah.
Flap your arms for everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Be a bird.
That's how you take off.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
All
it.
right. Are there any storylines you think would have been interesting for Mr. Howard if he had more episodes?
Yeah. Romance with Mindy Sterling.
I mean, mean guys need loving too, right?
All right. Yeah. Get that meanness
Yeah.
out.
Because
Yeah.
mean guys don't know they're mean.
Exactly.
That's deep, isn't it?
They're being themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
They're
Well,
being no nonsense.
Yeah.
They're being
direct.
no
Yeah. Okay. That's what they call it, huh?
Well, why do you think Mr. Howard was so mean?
Yeah.
I think some people are just born mean. I think no matter what your upbringing is, I think we have a personality when we are born. You can manipulate that perhaps with a good upbringing, but my brother is a totally different person from me, and we were brought up same people, same house. I was brought up in the South where I was taught to be very polite, and I was brought up in a military family where I was taught to be very respectful, and so those kind of guided me. But I think I was already on that road when I was born.
iCarly was obviously a special time in your life, and to think that you've taken on so many roles and then you say The West Wing and iCarly were your favorite. My opinion is that the kids sitcom is not really funny anymore. That's the truth in my eyes, and I think a lot of people feel that way, that we've lost the magic of what makes a kid show funny, and even a lot of other shows on TV. So if you had to kind of just talk about it and sum up, what do you think was the magic of iCarly?
I think that the writers were very connected to their childhoods. Looking back, it's easy to laugh at things that were painful. What's the saying? Tragedy plus time equals comedy, or something like that. Maybe not tragedy, but drama. And so the writing was just tapped into the goodness of childhood and all the humor that made us laugh at the best of times when we were kids. I was watching Laurel and Hardy recently, you know, and I watched those things when I was a kid and got to see how funny life can be. Never got into the Three Stooges because that was not my path. But when you learn to laugh at the strange turns life can take, you're gonna be a happier person. You're gonna
That's right.
have a happier life.
Yeah.
And you won't take things as seriously as people seem to take them now. And if I were asked that question, I would say the same thing. It's the writing.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. And I think it was the innocence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody really had memories of childhood and the innocence of it.
Yes.
You know, that's why children say what they say and they mean it because that's what they
feel.
think.
Right.
You grow up to learn how to lie. You know?
Yeah.
Right. And that's what Laurel and Hardy tapped into, was that innocence.
Any advice for actors that are out there trying to make it?
There are so many things you want to tell new actors. I would say perseverance.
Yes.
I think that is my biggest talent, is persevering.
Yeah.
Because I started out with really, really good people in college, and I'm like the 1% that kept going.
Oh.
Okay.
At the same time, you have to keep your ears open and be aware, is this working? Am I doing a good job with this while I persevere? And you need signals from the world as to how you're doing. You need to listen. If it's only your family telling you you're great,
I love that.
I love that perseverance. So that's why I've been doing what I'm doing so long and not stopping, because my first name is Percy.
Persevere.
Persevere.
That's why. You tell me no.
Character.
I'm like,
that is a great character.
I'm coming back. I never feel
Persevere.
like once I do an audition, I forget about it.
Oh, I want to write
Yeah.
something with that.
Persevere.
You should, Bennett.
We can co-write it.
I love it. We'll work on something.
It works for me.
Wow.
All right, so what you got?
That was fun. We're done.
It was great.
David,
We're done.
Can I just thank you for all of all of us, but just the memories, because I Got Detention was the first episode that I watched of iCarly. And I remember when I started watching iCarly, it was on a summer trip to the beach. And this was back when we had VHS tapes. And so I had taped 4 to bring with us on the trip. And I would just watch you over and over and over again. And I would wait for your scenes. And I would wait for the ways that it would hit when Sam would say, "I thought you hated her, what, your wife?" "Her too." Or, "I'll be going in the teacher's lounge to watch the Geometry Channel." You just had perfect delivery and you brought so much joy. And I think part of the humor is kids wanting to feel like they can laugh at the mean teacher because they couldn't do it in the real classroom. iCarly gave them a space to do it.
Amen.
Yes.
You're so brilliant. So it's just an honor to meet you, and you're such a big part of my childhood. And I learned so much from what you just said as an aspiring writer-producer. I think everything you said about actors applies, right, to writing and producing, persevering.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well,
Hey.
You're not a mean person at all.
No, he's sweet as he can be.
No,
You're
I'm
not. You're very
And you don't eat
knowledgeable.
pants, I don't think.
Yeah.
You don't
Thank
think.
you. Thank you. I want that on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does not eat pants.
It took us
He
a
eats
couple
vests.
decades.
He eats suit jackets.
Yeah. Let's get
No,
that right.
seriously though, you're very knowledgeable. You're a very nice man, and we learned a lot as actors. Just some of the advice that you passed out yourself. We're gonna apply that.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to keep trying different things to get booked, and
Yeah.
we're always open to advice from actors. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for that. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, how much I owe you? 'Cause that was a class right there, man.
It was a master
Oh
class.
my gosh, yeah.
You won't
So
pay him in
this-
pennies, you'll pay him in Percy's.
That's right, Percy's. Yeah, Percy's. We're gonna work that.
Yeah,
Now.
man. Shit.
Yes. And speaking of names, this is Victoriously Crazy Podcast.
Yes.
Thank you guys for joining us. We are on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all the listening platforms.
That's
so
right.
check us out there. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that internet stuff that people do that I have no idea.
I know. It's so much.
I do what I'm told. I do have a TikTok and all that myself, but it's just because my grandkids said I need to do it.
Yeah.
So now we're ready for Andre's grandma acts
Uh-oh.
out. Are you ready,
Here she
David?
go.
Oh yeah.
Andre's grandma is going to meet Mr. Howard and say, well, you're such a good teacher. Have you read this book I just finished? Everybody ready?
Yeah.
And roll.
Is that you, Mr. Howard?
Hello.
I said, is that you?
Of course it's me. Look, can't you read my name? It's right there underneath my picture.
Oh, sometime I forget to read. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, that's a problem. You wrote a book and you forget to read?
Speaking of my book, is called My Life in Plaid.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Have you read it?
I read the
Have
cover.
you read My Life in Plaid?
The cover was very descriptive. I got pretty much all I needed from it.
I didn't ask about no cover. The words, the black, the white, the stripe, the plaid, the round, the lid. It's a good book. Have you read it?
Later today, I think I'll get into that. But I can talk about it.
Okay.
What would you like to know?
I'd like to know.
You want me to tell you how good it was?
Well, when you read it, did you start off like this?
I don't know what the hell, excuse my language. I don't know what that was that you did, but no, I didn't start off like that. I picked up the book, I looked at the cover, I looked at the back, I saw what kind of quotes you had on the back.
Did it taste good? Did it taste
It's not.
good?
No, I don't eat books. I collect them. Some I
You
read.
don't eat books? What kind of teacher are you?
Yeah, it'll look good on my bookshelf. Okay, it's kind of fat. That's important to me.
I like that. Want to go to
Well,
the
good.
show?
Good. That sounds pretty good to me. Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Well, wait a minute. That's it? That's all you're going to ask me about the book?
What more do you want? It's fat. It's plain.
Well, what?
It fits my head.
Until I read it, what's it about?
It's about my life in plaid. Sometimes there's black days, sometimes there's white days, sometimes there's striped days, sometimes there's in your face days.
I get it. It's a what is it? An amalgam?
What?
I'm not an English teacher, okay? It's some
Amalgam? That sounds like a chihuahua to me. What is
Yeah.
an amalgam?
It means more than you think it means, right?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm out.
I'm done.
Sing.
You can send my check to my agent.